Another day at the Asia Cup and another game that does not matter. To the points table. To us cricket fans, of course, it matters because we want to see cricket every day. And of course, to Afghanistan and Bangladesh, this game does matter. So what? If the points don't matter, the win will definitely matter to them. Afghanistan has won the toss, of course. They've decided to bat first. Going to be tough for Bangladesh because they're playing this game in Abu Dhabi and tomorrow they're playing India in Dubai. Afghanistan, of course, will stay back in Abu Dhabi and be playing Pakistan here tomorrow. So an important win for both teams if they can do this today. They really want to get a good performance in. I've got Joy Bhattacharjya and Simon Doull here with me to ensure that we have a good performance over here. So what if the points don't matter? You guys are getting no points at all because you're both 10 on 10 kind of guys. Doesn't really matter.
Absolutely.
Doesn't really matter. We're going to come to this game in just a second, but I know the fans who are watching are extremely concerned about two things. One is Hardik Pandya. His injury yesterday looked horrible. It's never a pretty sight, Simon, when a player is wheeled off in a stretcher that was strapped like that with his neck like that. But the news that we've got is that he was standing on his feet by the end of the day, but no longer part of the tour.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like the back just twisted. I mean, whether it's a fracture or a stress fracture or something similar, or whether it's just a little bit of a tweaked muscle in the back, it didn't look very comfortable for him, and never very nice. So I'm pleased to see that hear that he's on his feet. Yeah. Pleased to hear that he is able to fly home.
Yeah.
Those are two concerns, I suppose, if you can't walk and you can't basically get on a plane to fly home to get some treatment. So that's a good signs moving forward, and just wish him all the best for that.
They've said it's an acute back spasm. So if it's a spasm, it can't be that bad. That's really good news because that means it's not that serious. And the way he looked, it looked as if they were immobilizing him. It looked like a career-threatening injury. It's none of that. So that's good news for India. Though I found it strange that the replacement that they announced for him right up front was Deepak Chahar.
Yeah.
And Deepak Chahar is an interesting character to be here. And then after that, they announced two more. I mean, I don't know when they got time to get injured, but Akshar Patel got injured as well. Yeah. And so did Shardul Thakur.
Akshar Patel was going to have a thumb injury. He's been twiddling his thumbs for the last 8 months with the Indian team.
Shardul Thakur.
That's right. That's the injury he's most prone to getting, his thumb.
Shardul Thakur's neck is sore.
Yeah.
Yeah, from watching the ball go out of the park. So he's got a tweaked neck, so that's why he had to come home, because he was watching the ball sail to the boundary.
I thought I'd said something mildly mean, but then Simon decided to hit it out of the park with the other one. Made me look better, so that's good.
So he's coming home with a sore neck. Akshar's got sore thumbs.
Yeah.
Okay. So
that's what it is. They've got Ravindra Jadeja, Deepak Chahar flying in. They've got Sid Kaul flying in. The question I think that everyone's asking, and we spoke about it yesterday, why does Kunal Pandya obviously not figure in India's long-term white ball plans?
See, he made only about 85 odd out of 60 odd balls.
Yeah.
His strike rate was only 140 or so.
No.
He's just not doing enough, I think.
But the reason,
I don't think he's
half.
I look at this and say, well, what's the reason Jadeja got dropped originally?
Yeah.
He got dropped because he was the premier test spinner. And I think they wanted him to remain the premier test match spinner. Now, bowling in test match cricket and bowling in one-day international cricket, for a spinner, can be quite different. So if all he's asked to do is rely on his spin bowling and get those options right, I don't think he was prepared to change too much to play one-day international cricket. So they thought that Chahal and Kuldeep were better options. And I think that's the right way to go. When you've got an embarrassment of riches, which India do have in the spin bowling department, they can have two quality test spinners and two quality one-day international spinners, and never the two shall meet.
Yeah.
That's an embarrassment of riches. So to look forward, I've been championing Kunal Pandya as well. I think he should be part of this mix. He's an exciting young player. He bowls very good left arm spin, hits the ball out of the park. So he could have been the new Jadeja.
True.
But they've decided to go back to some experience, and probably just on the fact that Jadeja scored that 90 in that test match.
Yeah.
I think. So they feel that his batting is up to scratch. He's been playing international cricket recently, so that's the reason. Maybe it is just a fill-in for this tournament.
Maybe he's just a backup. But the interesting thing to note is that when you said, of course, Jadeja and Ashwin were both dropped from white ball cricket, and that happened after Champions 2017. You saw it looked like they'd probably be sitting out for a tour. There was, Virat saying that. I just went on and on. And you like that philosophy where you're saying if you've got, number 1, number 2, number 4, he's always been in the top 5 bowlers in the world in Test cricket. And that's, no mean feat. But then he keeps getting dropped from test matches as well.
And he's wondering
so
how...
you're going, what's going on?
Yeah, and he's in that strange situation because, see, nobody really asks a player, no country will, no board should, ask a player, what is your preferred format? Because my sense is at this point in his career, Ravindra Jadeja would rather play white ball cricket than red ball cricket.
You think?
I mean, honestly. Yeah. Because the fact of the matter is, let's forget all that. Once you've played the test matches, playing for your country is great. Once you reach that age, 30, 31, where he is, around about where he is, you're thinking, I want to lengthen my career. And if you notice every player, whether it's a Brendan McCullum or anybody else, at some point they say, okay, I'm going to start playing only white ball cricket. After a while, it's going to be only T20 cricket. Because, hey, who doesn't want to play four overs, bowl 4 overs and go away or just bat for 20?
Yeah, Simon, this question actually is such a good point. And I know it's come in discussions when, we talk to other fans and cricketers, is that do you sometimes have captains or do you need captains and coaches to actually come up, put an arm around you or just, over a drink, have a chat and say, what's your mood? What's your motivation? What do you feel like doing? Which format?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, the coach and the captain are there to pick, or the selectors to pick the team that they think is best equipped to play 2020, 50 over and test match cricket. Now, if they see that their test match is still the pinnacle, which I think for India, test matches have been the pinnacle for them in the last 2-3 years outside of World Cups. They wanted to be the #1 test playing nation. So they've decided that Jadeja and Ashwin are their best spinners in that form of the game. They played 14 or 15 test matches at home over 2-year periods. So they wanted those guys 100% fit. We're going to leave you out of white ball cricket. We're going to make sure you are ready to go. Now that India are touring, they're only ever going to play one spinner for the next probably 18 months because they're touring so much for test series. So now maybe it is an opportunity to bring Jadeja back into the fold and say, look, are you keen to play one-day cricket again? Can you just change things a little bit from your test match mode and get back into one-day mode? Couple that with the fact that he is still one of the premier fielders in Indian cricket. Brilliant across the ground, great hands, absolute athlete in the outfield, and can bat. So you bring him back into the fold, I think he's a good choice.
I really enjoy his batting, actually. I don't know how much he enjoys his batting, because on some days it looks like he's having fun, and on some days he's just like, I don't want to do this, I want to go home, right? But the days he's in the mood, he's a delight to watch.
Absolutely. And my other point is that, look, you have right now, the way you're constructing your World Cup side, you have only 2 all-rounders in the mix who you are saying are your first 2 all-rounders. That's basically our Hardik and now with the Kedar, absolutely. Yeah. So it's necessary for Jadeja to come in, because otherwise the only person who was pushing them was Kunal Pandya. Yeah. So now you have a mix of about 4 guys saying, okay, 2 of these 4 are going to play for me in, say, one day international, because India needs that balance. Rarely has it happened that the top order, nobody bowls at all. That's rarely happened, or even guys who used to bowl, Rohit Sharma and all that, they've all stopped bowling. Yeah. So you need 6 and 7 to bowl regularly, and to have just 3 players in the mix, my feeling is Akshar Patel has enjoyed this long extended run in the Indian team for that precise reason. Yeah. Because who else was there in that position?
As a backup. But then, of course, Rohit Sharma, who actually wanted to be an off-spinner, began his career as a spinner, and his coach got him into batting. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Dinesh Lal. And then, of course, on the other side, you have a Rashid Khan, who wanted to be a batsman, and his coach pushed him into being a spinner. In fact, when he was with me on Breakfast with Champions, he said, I wanted to do batting. I was top order batsman. Then coach said, you can only do one. You do spin. I said, but I want to do batting. And he's really, and you can see him when he comes out to bat. Yeah. He really throws his bat. He connects.
He's won games for the Sunrisers. He's won games for Afghanistan.
KKR match.
KKR match. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's his, we're talking about him because A, we love him, and B, it's his birthday today. His 20th birthday.
His birthday today.
Okay.
It's his birthday
today. Well, I mean, he's saying it's his 20th. Who are we to argue, right? It's his life. And of course, his family must be celebrating with pizza. The nephews and nieces love a bit of pizza. They're probably celebrating with that. But he also has a record with him. I know if he can pull that out right now, where at the age of 20, he's got the most number of wickets. And let's pull this list, and it's quite interesting. You have Rashid there, 176 wickets, international wickets before turning 20. Well, here's the thing, Joy, that's interesting. The other 4 on the list are from Pakistan. Great bowlers, all of them.
Bowlers.
It's not their bowling or their wickets that I'm doubting. It's the 20 that I'm doubting.
No, but the greatest player is not in the list, and I think this list is wrong.
But Shahid Afridi is not 20 yet. So
That's they need to benchmark him when he reaches that age.
This list is only of people who've successfully turned 20. Shahid Afridi has not.
Yeah,
so there you go. Rashid Khan, of course, the fastest or the highest at the age of 20. The slowest, of course, to get to 20 because he's taken a few more years.
All Indian cricketers were like that. I remember Kapil Dev gently slowed down before 30.
Yeah.
He had this break. Suddenly he was 29. After a few years, you hear he's 33. Somewhere in between.
But tell me, Simon, you must be finding it so odd, and you've seen it enough because obviously in New Zealand, I'm guessing this doesn't happen.
You have a birth certificate as soon as you're born.
Yeah.
You basically you get a birth certificate. It's registered at the hospital, and I know that some of these guys are not 19 or 20. I know that. I watched the Under-19 World Cup in New Zealand.
Yeah.
You can tell that some of these guys are not 18, 19 years of age.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is that some of the systems and some of the countries that we want to play cricket are not as sophisticated as others.
Yeah.
And that's just life, I mean, I don't like the whole before 20 thing, the age thing, because it's not exactly relevant for other countries around the world. But I don't mind the fact that these guys are maybe 21, 22, and they say they're 19, because that's the first time they are registered.
Yeah.
They're not trying to hide too much, I don't think. It's just one of those situations that in certain parts of the world, these things happen.
Not recorded.
It should be better nowadays.
Yeah.
I think 15, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it was very different. I'd like to think that it's better now.
It is, for sure.
In
North India, it is.
Wait, I was just project director for the Under-17 Football World Cup, which happened
Yes, of course you were.
just recently, and there's a certain African country which came up with that, you have to give your passports because you're coming to India and your date of birth is in the passport. Yeah. 5 of them were born on January the 1st. The odds of that happening are about 1 in 67 million. So, so I thought maybe, 5 of them, 1 guy, 2 guys, 5 guys.
5 guys on January the 1st.
January the 1st. Jesus.
But at least be smart about it. Say, all right, you've got January, you've got August, you've got July, you've got June, and you, March. All right, let's put that down.
January 1st, 7th, 12th.
Yeah.
Take numbers out of a hat. Do something.
There was a huge power cut in April last year. So everyone's born in January.
There was no television. This happened. But Simon, just before we start talking about the game and wrap up, if you need a birth certificate here, if you want to be 39 again.
Wait, who should he contact? You or me? We both have contact.
Okay, all right.
Give me a joint effort.
You know some people.
Give me a JV. We can figure it out. I know some people who know some people. Can get things done for you. Not a problem. All right. So happy birthday to Rashid Khan, of course. We have the team squads. Let's pull out the team sheets for you. Afghanistan, of course, won the toss and decided to bat first. And Afghanistan had a good game against Sri Lanka the other day. They have the one change. They've got Samilullah Shinwari, who's in the side. Who's missing?
I've been trying to calculate.
Nazmul is missing.
Nazmul is missing.
Is Nazmul missing? Is that it? Well, you look at this. You look at this side. You're looking at. Let's look at. Sorry, Zadran is missing. That's right. Zadran's missing.
Najibullah Zadran.
Yeah. So Zadran is missing from this. They've got Shinwari in his place. Simon, we look at, of course, we'll talk about the batting in a second, but you look at that bowling effort against Sri Lanka the other day. Everybody chipped in. It was an all-round good bowling effort.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, they rely heavily on spin.
Yeah.
We see that time and time again, but they got swing. The other night there was some swing around in Abu Dhabi, and we talked about this, the fact that it's an open-air ground rather than the ring.
Yes.
So we might see that again in the second innings tonight. They just need to get the runs on the board. But anything again over that 220, 230 mark, which we talked about with the Sri Lankan game, their spinners come into play. Mujib comes into play. Rashid comes into play. Nabi. They come into play heavily when there's a score of 230 plus, and they can maybe put some pressure on, and that's exactly what they'll try and do again.
So 15 out of 21 games in Abu Dhabi, the last 21 games have been won by the side batting first. So advantage of Afghanistan, as you're saying, if the batsman can put a good score up, they'll anything above 230, their bowlers will be going, yes, rubbing their hands in glee because it's a good bowling unit. About their batting as well, last time they got a good opening stand. And of course, they had Rehmat Shah who got that 72.
Yeah, 70.
They'll be happy with their batting effort last time. They did get all out, but they reached that 250, 249 is what they reached.
It was a very
decent.
Good enough. It's a decent batting performance. The thing about it is it's interesting that obviously Bangladesh has a longer journey tomorrow because they're playing in a different part of the world.
Yes.
I mean, they're not in a different part of the world, different city tomorrow. The point is that actually if you look at their recent record, it's 3-0 in favor of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
They're by no means the underdogs. So, anyone who's looking at that list and saying that, Bangladesh can afford to rest players, it's actually a forced rest. I mean, they're just calculating that, we can't take the risk of, having any of these two injured.
Yeah.
But definitely you have to say, even with those two playing, it's definitely advantage Afghanistan at this point in time in their relative distances.
Yeah.
They've got to have a new opener for a start,
Correct.
Bangladesh. Obviously, so Shanta comes
gone.
in there.
Yeah.
Mominul Haq, we've seen him in and out of the side many, many times. He's come and gone. He slots into the number 3, Mushfiqur. So great innings from Mushfiqur the other day, but he's now having a rest. And Mustafi Zur, the left arm quick, is out as well. And Abu Haidaroni comes in to this Bangladesh side. So
You think Shakib will bat at 5 though? Because they're trying him at 3, but my point is that either you play him at 3 and tell him, okay, 3 is yours for the next 10 matches, or you play
Is
him at
Shakib
5.
the kind of guy you've spent enough time with him at KKR? Is he the kind of guy who's just up for anything that the team wants, or does...
He used to be definitely that kind of guy.
Yeah.
And see, I'll tell you one interesting thing. One of the reasons why KKR used to go a lot with associate players or players from not that big countries, so take a look at Shakib out there, or even Ryan Tendushkate, is the reason is these guys literally are used to carrying teams.
Yeah.
It's rare that anyone else gets really big runs for it. So when Tendo went out batting for the Netherlands, he said, I have to do it. 9 days out of 10, if I don't do it, my team will not get across. Shakib was similar 7, 8, 9 years back. I think he's got a lot more help now. So he might have changed that way because that responsibility is not so much on him right now at the moment. But Shakib was very much the kind of guy who used to do everything. And he has it in him. The question about Bangladesh now is, how do they keep Shakib motivated? He was coming into the Asia Cup. He had an injury, didn't want to play the Asia Cup. Then the chairman of selectors called him up and said that, you have your operation later, don't have it now. So he's not 100% fit. He didn't want to play this tournament. Yet, the call of duty comes to your country, you've got to go and do it. So if Shakib is all there in his head, I'd say play him at number 3 and say, this is your team now, you need to carry it for a while.
Yeah.
At least the batting part of it.
How tough it is, and I know that they're professional cricketers, and sometimes you go, why are you making a fuss? It's a job, they have to do it. But they're playing in Abu Dhabi today, they're playing against India tomorrow, big game, lots of pressure. Abu Dhabi to Dubai for, it's about an hour and a half as a drive away, but it can get a little disorienting. It's super hot over there. You're playing a 50-over game. It's not 20-over cricket. It's tough. The schedule is not easy.
No, and you're playing way too late. You're playing way too late. This is actually the toughest, to have to go to another city. I hope they're staying in the same hotel in Dubai and just driving back and forth, because that will be easier. If they're going tonight or tomorrow morning, checking into a hotel, checking in their stuff, it is incredibly exhausting, and it's mentally, we worked a lot on this at KKR. It's incredibly exhausting, because every time you have a new environment now, just putting your stuff down, adjusting yourself mentally to a new room takes something out of you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem to be physical tiredness, but it's all here.
Well, packing, getting all your stuff.
All of that
I left my
stuff's a
aftershave behind. Or there's just that stress of doing that.
See, the idea of any good team is, how much can I get other things out of a player's life and allow him to just relax and play.
Worry about the cricket.
These are the only two things.
I'd like to think they're all staying in Dubai.
I'd like to think so too.
Wouldn't you think so?
I would.
Yeah. Unless you've got back-to-back games
Because
down in Abu
my
Dhabi,
point is that
that's fine. But if you're staying in Dubai, you jump on a bus in the morning. It's quite nice on the bus as well. And after the game, if you win, then the bus trip back is fairly short. It's quite a nice bus trip back.
Yeah.
You're in the same hotel room, the same bed. These guys are in this tournament for 15, 16 days, probably 3 or 4 days prior to. So put your bag in your room and leave it there for 18, 19 days.
It makes a difference.
And it makes a massive difference.
You've been playing in the area. You've played in the area in your career at times which were as brutal in terms of the weather, right? It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, look, it's difficult. It's
Are they?
here we go.
Oh, please, you played in November. Come on. What are you complaining about?
Back-to-back games, though. November 10, November 11.
In April as well, you have to say.
April 20, April 21. So back-to-back games. Not a lot of overs in that first one against India. But I think I might have broken down against Pakistan there. Was that two balls?
Yeah.
Jeez. Maybe Amir Sohail hit me out of the park and I got a sore neck.
Because look at it. Because you played 10th, 11th, 13th.
Yeah.
There. So that's your third game.
Yep.
In
3
4 days.
3 games in 4 days there, and 3 games in 5 days from 17.
Oh, they really
20,
pack it in,
21.
huh?
So yeah, but I mean that was just how it was, and you got used to it. I think what's happening a little more nowadays is there's a couple of theories I've got that a lot of these guys only play white ball cricket, so they don't play test match cricket. They're not used to bowling 15, 20 overs one day and then maybe another 8 or 10 the next day when you're trying to bowl a side out. So they're not used to it. Maybe Bumrah is, Muhammad Amir is for Pakistan, but not too many of them play both formats of the game or all three formats of the game. So you get used to bowling 4 overs and 4 over spells and maybe 8 or 9 overs in a one-day international. So they're not used to backing up. The other thing is the players' associations have got involved. We must have 2 days rest or minimum, or we must have 3 days rest minimum. And these things have got involved, and so outside circumstance. So players have gotten used to not having to play.
Yeah.
And so when they do have to play back-to-back, they complain about it instead of just getting on with the job.
Yeah, because I think both the Bangladesh and the Afghanistan captains, both I think prior to this game complained about the schedules.
I think one very justified...
Bangladesh and Pakistan, I think.
Correct. One very justified call on the schedule is, why is India only playing in Dubai, why is the rest? So that fact of the matter is, I mean, that's something that...
Because India is the host country. Right?
Yeah, India is the host country.
If you're the host country, you decide. If you're host at dinner, you decide where you're going to sit at the table.
Where the table seating.
You decide the menu. You also decide whose house it is because it's your house.
Yeah, I mean, the design of this tournament is pretty... It's strange.
Yeah.
It really is strange.
It's designed for India to play Pakistan
It's a
3 times.
TV design. It's designed by the television network so that India and Pakistan can play 3 times.
Yeah.
That's that's their goal for television ratings, for advertising, so that they can play 3 times. But I don't think it's a very good tournament as...
No.
The scheduling is pretty poor.
Is it a 3-match India-Pakistan series with some stuff happening on the side?
Correct. And that's what's
That's
not
the supporting
right about it.
cast.
Yeah, let's just keep everyone busy and happy on the side a little bit.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't count out Bangladesh and Afghanistan to ruin parties if you think that this is an India-Pakistan bilateral series, is what... Because these teams are good enough to tumble the big corporation's dream.
100%. I mean, on the right day, both of these teams, from what we've seen of India, from what we've seen of Pakistan, I don't know about Bangladesh, but I think Afghanistan could tip up either India or Pakistan on their day with their bowling attack.
Yeah.
The way they bowl, I think
They get
honestly
220,
could.
230, get to 3-4 wickets, and suddenly you could be in trouble.
If they batted first in a big game against India or Pakistan, I have no doubt if they put 240 on the board, they could make it very, very difficult. I'm not as convinced about Bangladesh without Tamim at this point in time. I think Afghanistan are a better side, a better outfit at the moment.
Also, Afghanistan play at a home ground that's much closer to me.
Yeah.
Their home ground is Dehradun.
Dehradun, very close to you.
Absolutely.
They are also, in a way, then a part Indian team. We can support them a bit. We can cheer for them a little bit.
Look, one of our best cricketers is born in Kabul, in Afghanistan. Salim Durrani is born in Afghanistan. So when they talk about, Afghan cricketers scoring 1,000 runs in first-class cricket, so first was actually Salim Durrani.
That is right. Well, there you go. That was an appetizer to the joy factor question that's coming up. And trust me, this main course sometimes can be tough to chew. But here it is anyway, served hot. Over to you, sir.
This is actually very hot and fresh. The current Mumbai Indians manager is number 2 on a particular list. The most successful Sri Lankan fast bowler of all time is at 3. And a West Indian bowler nicknamed Whispering Death is at number 5. Who is now number 1 on this list, and what is this list about? The word now is important. In that second last sentence, the word now is important. Who is now number 1 on this list?
Don't look at me, See, the fact is that I would never give you a clue. Second fact is I don't have a clue. So how can I give you a clue? Do you have a clue, Simon?
I don't know who the Mumbai Indians manager is.
You don't even know the first part.
No. You lost me at Mumbai Indians manager. I know who Whispering Death is.
Can we match? You would know. We know Whispering Death. Can we tell people who the Mumbai Indians manager is, or would that just give it away?
You can do the accent of the Whispering Death and they don't know who he is.
That's true. Dangerous man. He's a dangerous bowler, man. Water is for fish, man.
Excellent.
So, can we tell people the Mumbai Indians manager, just to help them decode
Go
that
for
list?
it.
But is that the part of the question as well? Your questions throw me into a tailspin.
He was number 2 on the list. The Mumbai Indians manager is number 2 on this
So
list.
we have to say who the Mumbai Indians manager is?
No.
We don't have to
They've got to
say
find number 1 on the list.
okay. So the Mumbai Indians manager, you're talking about, because listen, they have a support staff of 18 people.
Yeah.
You've got to help people through this. Are you talking about Rahul Sangvi?
I am talking about
You are talking about Rahul Sangvi. There you go. So Rahul Sangvi is there. Let's put the question up again, because I've just put a piece of the puzzle in for you, my friends. So Rahul Sangvi
is at number 2.
Is at number 2. Whispering Death, we all know, is Michael Holding.
Muridon is at number 3.
No, fast
Fast
bowler.
bowler. Oh, Chaminda
Fast
Vas is
bowler
at number
all time.
3. Okay, Chaminda Vas is at number 3.
Chaminda Vas or Malinga? What does successful mean?
In terms of wickets.
What does that mean? The highest net worth?
Wickets. I'll go with somebody who knows
Best
playing the
top
game.
line revenue in business? You got
Hey,
to...
look, I've got to give someone.
No,
So they're
look,
giving you so much.
Joyce's questions have been too easy. This is hard. I like it. Work it out yourself.
Work
We're not going to help you anymore. Done.
That's it.
Done. No more clues.
We won't even tell you where to send your answers because you got to work. No, I'm kidding. I'll tell you that. It's hashtag Cricbuzz Live on Twitter. So tweet us your answer. And before we go, of course, Afghanistan and Bangladesh playing. Afghanistan won the toss, decided to bat. The artist formerly known as Stanikzai?
Ashgar Afghan.
Is now Afghan. The artist formerly known as
Stanikzai.
Stanislawski is now known as Asghar Afghan, has decided to bat first. And how much will Afghanistan get? Time for a guessing game. Simon, your guess, Abu Dhabi, they're batting first, got 249 the last time. What are they going to get against
249
Bangladesh?
against Sri Lanka, 237 today.
237. 237.
I'm going to go vague. 189.
Oh.
You know, we've been going 200s. The last few days, it's been somewhere near the...
I've been, this entire tournament, I've been low balling and it seems to have worked.
218.
What? 8-0.
1-8.
Oh.
218.
189, 218, 239.
There you go. We got it. Well, we'll be back in the 15th over with Uber presents Cricbuzz Combox. So we'll see you then. And then, of course, we'll be sitting right here on these beautiful red sofas with the red table right here in the innings break. So we'll see you then. Thank you so much for watching Cricbuzz Live from Simon, Joy, and me, Gaurav Kapur. It's goodbye for now.